we jump into this video, I want to take a quick opportunity to mention my GoFundMe. GoFundMe is a safe and reputable online donation website where you can publicly or anonymously donate any dollar amount. Recently, I created one as a sort of Kickstarter fund to help raise money for better recording equipment for my videos. Specifically on this video, I ran into so many issues with the quality, and also unfortunately, I lost a ton of my footage working with this filly, which was super disappointing. It's actually this video which has totally inspired me to start the GoFundMe so that anyone who enjoys learning from and watching these free demonstrations of my Colt Starting can have the opportunity to make a donation to improve them in the future. I'll put a link down in the description box. As you guys can tell, this is a very long-term goal that I hope to reach by the end of this year, so please don't feel obligated to donate anything, but it is there for those who would like to help me reach my goal. Hey guys, it's Danielle, and today I'm going to start taking you through a little video that I made working with a colt that I just recently started named Annie. So this is day 1 through day 5. So this is my first day working with Annie, and what I'm basically doing is getting her used to being on the halter and lead line and also teaching her how to round pen. I want her to go around respectfully, and when she changes directions, I want to catch her eye and have her change directions facing me instead of doing so with her hind end. So basically, if she turns into the fence with her head, I'm going to spank her butt to encourage her to face me with 2 eyes when she's changing directions in the round pen. I've made several other round penning videos, so if you're curious to know how this works, definitely check them out. But she's doing a great job letting me catch her eye and pull her into the center of the round pen facing me instead of wanting to turn with her butt towards me. So this is an excellent job, and I'm just going to round pen her a little bit more before I start doing some other desensitizing with her. Even though it's the first day, I feel like this horse is definitely desensitized enough to get saddled, so I have my husband help me throw it up on her so it's not too jolting, and we go ahead and gently tighten the cinches slowly and bit by bit. For the first saddling experience, I actually like to let them off of the lead line and allow them to buck. This helps me familiarize myself with their movements under saddle and their reactive behaviors, so that when I do go to put my first few rides on them, I'm pretty acquainted with their behavior and I can help keep myself safe. I think this also lends the horse an opportunity to understand that by bucking, they are not going to remove the saddle. It's only after the horse calms down and starts going around nice and calm that the saddle gets comfortable on them. Every time they buck and jolt around, it's just causing them more work and stress, and as soon as they relax and carry the saddle, it all goes away. It's important to understand that while I don't encourage her to buck, I do allow her to buck. But again, it's typically only on this very first saddling experience. Depending on the horse, maybe the second experience as well. But later on, if she does decide to continue bucking, I will begin slowly correcting the behavior. But I can already tell that she's going to be a really intelligent and easy filly that's going to accept the tack very willingly. Now you can see that only after a few minutes of being saddled and going around, she is absolutely perfect. She looks like an old broke horse. She's super comfortable with the tack moving on top of her, and she's very relaxed. She's very comfortable with it, but now I'm going to do a little bit of desensitizing before I remove it. And I'm just going to start flapping the fenders and patting on the saddle and pad and sort of moving everything around and getting her used to the sensations and the sounds of the saddle. This was a fantastic first day for her, so now I'm going to untack her and I'm going to leave the tack and saddle right in front of her to investigate. When horses can investigate something, chew on it, and rub on it, especially something that smells like them and has their sweat on it, they're going to be a lot more comfortable. And I leave this tack in here hoping that she will rub on it, play with it, and even roll in the round pen with it. Allowing the colt to roll after working them, especially with the tack in the round pen with them, is a great opportunity for them to get comfortable with it, and it also helps as a natural adjustment for their back. So I think I'll show you a little craziness that happened on day 2. I had just finished saddling her up, and the cinches were quite loose when this happened. She completely flipped over, which was something I have never seen before and was not expecting. So I just gently encouraged her back onto her feet and petted her to help her relax. She obviously felt that the cinches were too tight, even though I had only tightened them a couple of holes and they could have easily rolled. It was so loose. But being a new colt like this, they do unexpected things, and even though she had already been saddled once before, she was obviously a little confused by that pressure and decided to try to get out of it by just flopping over like she did. And it was definitely really crazy. I've never seen a colt do anything like that before. So after that craziness, I bring her back into the round pen and she does kind of buck around a little bit. But this time, instead of just letting her off of the lead line to do what she wants, I'm going to kind of control where the bucking is going. So every time she starts hopping around and bucking like that, I'm going to grab her and turn her and change her direction. And just sort of try to get her feet redirected and her momentum away from bucking and on to moving forward. And after she calms down and relaxes with the saddle, I let her off the lead line and I start round penning her again. Now I'm also starting to work on lateral flexion, which is where I bend her head side to side, waiting for that little bit of give. And as soon as she does give, I release her. This is going to be great when I start her under saddle because I want to be able to pull her around laterally and have her body shut down. So if she were to get scared or run off, I could shut her down just by pulling her to a one-rein stop. Although I don't show it much in these clips, this is something that I do a lot with a young horse. So for day 3, I'm going to start doing the Jeffries. And again, this is something that I've already covered in my previous videos, but the Jeffries method is a great way to get colts accustomed to the idea and concept of a person being on top of their back. So you start the Jeffries by desensitizing first, and then slowly work your way up to jumping all the way up and laying across their back. So I've already done a lot of desensitizing, hopping around her, grabbing her, and running at her, until she became comfortable enough that I could actually jump all the way up on and lay over across her back. Once I'm up there, I make it really comfortable and enjoyable for her, and I start scratching and petting her all over and just solidifying that a person being on her back is a really good and pleasurable experience, and that's what I want to carry over under saddle. Annie's doing a fantastic job, and it's already day 3, so I'm going to start desensitizing her a little more and adding one of my favorite tools to our session, which is my boat buoys. These are something that I just tie to the saddle horn with a piece of baling twine, and they help to sort of simulate the idea or the concept of legs flapping against the horse. So it's a really great desensitizing tool that's going to prepare the horse to see something hitting their body and being on both sides of them. I'm also going to start jumping up into the saddle and just lightly putting weight on it to see how she handles it, kind of leaning over and rubbing her and getting her used to the concept that I'm going to be mounting up and being on top of her back under saddle. Because we've already done the Jeffries method, she's pretty used to the idea of me being up there, which is great. So like I said, I'm going to introduce these buoys, and with all things, I kind of give her a moment to smell them and familiarize herself with them. And you want to start slow. You don't want to put them on and then just whip her into a lope. You want to put them on and let her just walk around and feel them and get used to them, because some horses are really reactive and they'll kind of bolt or spook or even go to buck with these, which is a really great way to start off because you want them to do that with the buoys and not with you. And then once I'm comfortable with how she's going around with these buoys on and I think that she's ready for a rider, I'm actually going to get on and put my first ride on her today. You can see she's a little bit nervous about them, so I'm just going to continue lunging and round penning her until she feels really comfortable with that sensation. You can see there the buoys accidentally broke off and she still didn't even freak out. She's a little curious as to why it happened, but she did such a great job. So that, mixed with a lot of other behaviors that she's showing me, really tells me that she's ready for me to mount up. So I'm going to go ahead and do so now. And very carefully, of course, preparing her that I'm going to get up into the saddle, and now I'm going to swiftly swing over my leg and put it in the other stirrup. Because of Annie's really quiet and sort of dull nature at times, I knew that I was going to need my husband's assistance with this process, so I've already called him into the round pen prior to mounting up. So he's going to help give her just a little bit of encouragement to move her feet while I sit on her in the saddle, because I don't want to add too many elements that might freak her out, like me squeezing or kissing or spanking her. So he's going to help direct her on the ground while I sit in the saddle and just let her go wherever she wants. It may not look like much, but for only 3 days and her very first ride, this is tremendous, and this is really all I'm looking for this ride. So I apologize in advance, my footage from day 4 got cut off and this small clip is all I have, but basically my husband and I worked on moving her off at the trot and getting her freed up a little more and moving those feet. So today I'm actually going to start bitting Annie up, and I've got a smooth copper snaffle in her mouth with a brow band bridle, and I'm just going to allow her to get used to that for a little while, and I'm not going to use any bridle reins with it, but I will round pen her with it on and also let her carry it underneath a halter while I ride her. I worked with her for about 15 minutes doing a lot of groundwork, desensitizing, and round penning. So now I'm going to go ahead and get up into the saddle. Today I'm going to start putting a small emphasis on guiding around, so I am going to start kind of guiding her in different directions with the halter, and I'm also going to try working on stopping her a little bit and getting her slowed down. But most importantly, what I'm going to do today is try to get her to lope off, and I'll probably need my husband's help with this, but I'm super excited to try. She's doing a great job today and has made tremendous progress. She's even able to trot with my encouragement from my legs and kissing without needing someone in the middle guiding her feet. At this stage in the process, her head's up high, her movements are kind of jolty and strange, and that is all extremely typical for a colt. So it's not something I'm worried about. I'm not going to correct the way she's moving or her headset. I just want her to get comfortable moving out underneath me and to be responding to my cues to go forward and turn. I'm gonna start small with everything I ask her to do, but I'm gonna start it all right away. So things like backing, side passing, moving her shoulders and hips, they're all things that I'm going to be doing in little doses with every single ride. Because you can see she's clearly a little sticky, my husband's going to help me by adding a third level of pressure to get her to lope. So I'm going to squeeze and kiss, and if she's not loping by then, he's going to spank to get her moving. She's doing a fantastic job. Again, this is all that I expect out of this ride. I'm super excited about her progress, and I can just continue to build on this every day. And look, she even gave me a better stop right there. Awesome job. So that is it for Annie's rides, day 1 to day 5. I wanted to make it a little bit shorter just so it's easier to watch, so I hope that was enough content for you guys. You can definitely look back in some of my previous Colt Starting videos to see more of what I do, but hopefully that gave you guys a little bit of insight into exactly what the first week looks like on a Colt. So thank you for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.